The philosophical idea is that I can make a computer out of anything.
I needed a robot for my research, and none existed at a low enough price point to do the work. So I designed and built my own robot.
I started modifying it, and then people started offering me money. And so I accepted their money, and we became a company.
Basically, the idea was a gymnasium for geeks, or a place, a fitness center for people who like to use their mind, a copy center for copying three-dimensional objects. Currently, it's $125 a month, gives you access to 17,000 square feet of every machine tool, woodworking tool, plastics tool, electronics, textiles. We have laser cutters, 3D printers, a great big huge water jet that will cut through 5 inches thick of everything. 2,500 square feet of just open tables, electricity, compressed air for power tools. We like to say everything you need to make anything on the planet for the cost of a bad coffee addiction. It's about $4 a day.
I programmed a model and then exported it as a vector file and cut it on the laser and then assembled it by hand. So I took a piece of code and turned it into a physical object. That's what I've been doing for the last year and a half, is building studies for a mechanical computer and actually functioning units that are the arithmetic logic units, the memory that connect inputs to outputs, and also display the result. I just had my first art show this spring, and during that process I made like 7,000 euros as an artist. Being a computer scientist and then moving into this art realm was a really wonderful experience for me. I love sharing ideas with other folks at the shop, and that's really what makes TechShop special, is all the people that come here that have their ideas and projects that they're working on, and people share, and that's wonderful. That's what makes this more than just a workshop.
Romevo is particularly useful with children with disabilities such as autism. The benefit to using the robot is that it changes the relationship between the teacher and the child. So in the traditional interaction between a teacher and a child, the teacher asks a question and the child has to answer the teacher. And the teacher has this sort of imperative, you must respond to me. But in this role, the teacher is controlling the robot through the tablet. The robot asks the question, and when the child says, I don't know, they can turn to the teacher for support. So the teacher then becomes a friendly, supporting role. For me to get enough money to do the design for manufacture, to produce these so that the general public would be able to use them in their homes and in their schools, I need about $150,000.
Depending on height, some of them work, they have to be high up, and other ones have to be low. So you'll basically select the ones you like, we'll figure out how they work, and then we'll place them.
We're building printers that the established companies, the companies that have been around for 25 years, they've never attempted to build these printers. All of the companies like us are building machines for the kind of budgets that big companies can't even buy pencils for. They cannot make a machine as cheaply as we can. Well, and they certainly cannot develop a machine as cheaply and as easily as we can. The company started with seed funding out of my pocket of about $6,000. And that was enough to build the first 3 or 4 prototypes. And that was enough to get some sales, and it just very slowly snowballed from there. Right now we have 15 employees, including myself, and we should hit 500 machines shipped sometime in the next 2 weeks. The standard machine is $1,700, and for that you get a 10-inch by 9-inch by 9-inch build volume, single extruder, and one of the most reliable machines you can buy. So we're expecting to have to move locations fairly soon. We are, as you can see, kind of cramped. We are effectively out of space, and we are looking for a new location. The difficulty is we want to retain this space because TechShop attracts so many interesting people, and so many people get to meet us as a company just because they come to see TechShop.
Probably the most successful one is this device here. This is just it's called Square. The idea was developed by a glass blower. You take a credit card, whether it's an American Express, Visa, you run it through here, and now anybody with a checking account has access to the credit card merchant banking system in the United States. This completely transformed banking in the U.S., where now if you have a lemonade stand or a taco truck or some other small stand, you didn't used to have access to credit card machines. Now you do. And as a direct result of this, they exploded. You know, they had $10 million, I think, in their Series A. They raised 50, then 100 million. 18 months ago, so it's like January of 2012, they got a $3.2 billion valuation from Visa. They'll have 1,000 employees before the end of this year, probably $60 billion in transactions coming across it. And it was all started by a glass blower who had an idea and needed prototypes. He did the original prototypes at TechShop. One of the interesting things is if you spend like 90 days here and take every one of our classes, you will go through your own personal industrial revolution in about 90 days. You may not know how to make anything at the beginning, but at the end of the 90 days, you'll be able to make just about anything. Making things is fundamental to what it means to be human, so the marketplace is 6 billion people strong. We'll raise money in the capital markets and come in and build them. So our objective is to put a tech shop in every major community and every community around the world.